sizable stretch of the season, it was kind of a stumbling block for you guys, but that's obviously not the case this long stretch you're on, and obviously that's tonight. What do you think changed?
It's a great question. I think tactically, there's really never been like big adjustments at halftime. If I had to put my finger on one thing, it would just probably be our will defensively. It just seems like, we kind of just turn it up a notch. And sometimes it's something we talk about. Me or Cub will kind of just say like, hey, we need a 20-point quarter here. Or, hey, if we're going to win this game, we need to have like a 40 or 42-point half. Tonight, it wasn't that. It was just something clicked for us defensively. And I think they had 43 in the second half. It was one of those low-scoring second halves for them. And, for us, it was that stretch really to start the third where we were getting stops and making shots. And, it was like we tied it, and then all of a sudden we looked up and we were up 11. It was, and I think that's been really, the key for us every time we've done that in the second half. It's been that, where we're getting multiple stops in a row defensively.
Just makes three-point territory for you guys tonight, or were there other things that were happening that allowed you guys to be so efficient from three?
Well, it's the quality of looks. It's the ball movement. It's the screening. It's the fact that we have good shooters. This is sort of how we've played since Joe has been out. And it creates a lot of problems for the defense because there's a lot of times where we're playing Urs and Dario together at the 4 and the 5, and the other two wings are shooters, and then you got Ben going downhill. So, if it's an open floor, you got to make a choice. And if it's, pick and pop, two-man, catch and shoot floppy action, like there's just all sorts of problems. And the other thing I think is, like with Ben attacking downhill, Marco's cutting, Dario's cutting, like all of a sudden, if you start switching out on that stuff, those guys make those adjustments and we get layups.
JJ, you've been very vocal about your relationship with the fans and what they give you guys when you're playing. What did the crowd give you tonight?
Goosebumps. The crowd gave me goosebumps. It was, listen, it's one game, and it's 1-0 in the series. But I'll just say this, like, as a basketball player, you dream about those moments, where you're in the second half of a playoff game, and your team's making a run, and you're getting stops, and you're hitting threes, and the crowd is just, energizing you and pushing you, and it was awesome. They've been like that the whole year, and I've talked about it, and Brett's talked about it. Like, what's it going to be like in the playoffs? Like, they brought it. No surprise.
You've had this as a team done this time and again during the 16-game stretch about the big third quarter, the big second half. Is there kind of a quiet confidence you guys have, regardless of the situation, knowing you guys have that ability to just, hate to say flip a switch, but
it's not flipping a switch though. It's not flipping a switch. It's communication more so than anything. We get back in there, and there's 5 minutes where it's just us in the locker room before the coaches get in there, and we talk. And we talk about what we need to do better, maybe an adjustment we need to make, maybe a specific play, what happened here. All right, next time it happens, here's what we're going to do. Like, we've used those half times, 5 minutes as a team with just players to get better. And then Brett will come in, and he'll show something on film, and we get better. So listen, we definitely have confidence, and I love our demeanor. I love our spirit. Like, our young guys that had never played a playoff game before were awesome tonight. I'm not surprised by that, but it's not like a quiet confidence like we can flip a switch. It's demanding. It's like holding each other accountable. Like, that's what we've done during this stretch and really all year, even when we weren't necessarily winning at a high rate. Like, this is who we are.
JJ, you guys had a great game one, but
yeah.
How how different can it be in a game two, and with the adjustments the team can make?
I think you said it. You know, we have to be ready for adjustments. We've got to make adjustments. We've got to figure out, you know, what they're going to do differently and kind of anticipate that, because they're obviously going to do stuff differently on offense and on defense, and we've got to anticipate that. And I said this, I think, this morning. It's been a long day. I might have said it yesterday, but you know, you don't get extra points for winning by 27. Just like you wouldn't get an extra point for winning on a buzzer beater. You know, it's just one game, and they have an unbelievable coaching staff, and our expectation is, you know, they'll make some great adjustments.
JJ, you touched on a few things. You touched on some of the young guys not having that playoff experience. You also talked about stepping up and playing as a team in Embiid's absence. What are you doing specifically on and off the court to help everybody mature and get ready for this series?
Me specifically? I mean, that's between me and my teammates. Like, listen, we all talk, and our coaching staff. I keep saying this for the last 2 weeks. They've done an amazing job coaching us. I can't take any credit. We're a team that I think has gotten better as the season progressed in terms of communicating with each other, and I don't like. It's not necessarily brutal honesty, but it's honesty in the moment, and being able to talk through things in the moment. We've gotten so much better with that, and that's not something I can take credit for. That's just, you know, us learning how to win and us learning how to communicate and be a mature basketball team, and hopefully that maturity will continue to grow as we go through this playoff stretch.
JJ, what happened to you physically in the first minutes of the game there?
I'm not sure, and I'm not trying to be like secretive here, but I don't really want to comment on it. It was just a really scary moment. I lost vision in my left eye, and I don't know what happened. So, you know, I went back to the locker room, and you know, I just had to wait really till it kind of came back. You know, it's not a concussion. I don't know what happened. I fell to the floor. I haven't watched it yet. It was scary. Yeah, I don't want to say like I fell on my head or I got kicked. I don't know what happened. It happened on the fall. I know my arm was kind of grabbed, and then I felt like just some pain really shoot up all over the place, and I just lost vision. So I ran back to the locker room. I'm not sure what else.
JJ, we've seen Ben Simmons be so even keel all season long. It looked like he showed a little bit of emotion tonight after the dunk. What do you think as a teammate when you see that, and just how was his demeanor? Was it any different tonight than maybe?
I loved his demeanor before the game. You know, Ben is I don't want to say he's quiet. I don't want to say he's soft spoken, but like when he speaks, it's like it means something. And like I've never seen him like so like demonstrative with me specifically before a game. Like there's like 3 separate times where, you know, he was like really just like pushing me and urging me, and it was just awesome to see. I mean, he just, again, I expected him to sort of rise to the moment, and I'll expect him to do that in game 2. But he was awesome tonight. I love when he shows emotion too. It's great to see. But he's just got like a quiet, just cockiness about his game that I love.
JJ, to that point where you were just talking about Ben, that quiet cockiness, how does that translate onto the court on a big stage like this from what you saw tonight?
He's not afraid of the moment. You know, when we did our joint press conference, you know, yesterday, he's just like, nothing really phases him. You know, he's just ready for the moment. He said it to you guys, like he said, you know, it'd be a game just like my first NBA game. It'll be a little different. My first playoff game will be a little different, but you know, his approach, his competitiveness, it just never wavers. So not surprised that he was great tonight.